In the year 1872, deep in the dusty frontier of the American West, there was a forgotten town called Black Hollow. It did not appear on any map, and travelers who passed near it often said the air there felt wrong. One night, a lone gunslinger named Elias Crow arrived on horseback. The wind howled through the empty streets. Every building looked abandoned, yet someone was watching. Elias pushed open the swinging doors of the old saloon. The room was dark, filled with dust. Suddenly, chairs began to move on their own. A glass slid slowly across the bar. Then a whisper came from the shadows. "You shouldn't have come here." Outside, the town stood a massive, twisted tree. Dozens of ropes still hung from its branches. Elias found a grave marker nearby. Here lie the people of Black Hollow, cursed since 1851. Suddenly, the ropes began to sway, even though there was no wind. Inside the sheriff's office, Elias found old journals. They told the story of a gold mine discovered beneath the town. But the miners dug too deep. They opened something beneath the earth, something ancient. Suddenly, the door slammed shut. Behind Elias stood the ghost of Sheriff Dalton, his neck broken, eyes black as coal. Elias rode to the abandoned mine at the edge of town. The entrance looked like a black mouth in the mountainside. Inside, strange symbols were carved into the walls, and deep within the darkness, something was breathing. Elias heard footsteps behind him. He turned. A man stood there, but his face began to twist, stretching into something inhuman. Bones cracked, skin tore. The creature smiled with far too many teeth. It whispered, "We wear their faces." That night, ghostly riders appeared on the horizon. Dozens of them, the dead townspeople of Black Hollow. Their horses made no sound. Their empty eyes all stared at Elias, and slowly they began to surround him. The ground trembled. The mine collapsed inward. From beneath the earth, something enormous began to rise. A creature older than the town, older than the desert itself. Its voice echoed through the valley. "You open the door." Elias drew his revolver. Bullets did nothing. The ghosts moved closer. The creature stretched its massive shadow across the town. Elias realized the truth. No one who entered Black Hollow ever left. Years later, travelers sometimes pass through the desert. They speak of a strange abandoned town, and sometimes they see a lone gunslinger walking the streets at night. His name is Elias Crow, and now he guards Black Hollow forever. The desert night was colder than Elias Crow expected. The wind moved through the empty streets of Black Hollow, carrying a strange whisper that sounded almost like distant voices. Elias tied his horse to a broken post in front of the old saloon and slowly stepped inside again. Something was wrong. The dust on the floor had changed. There were footprints now, fresh ones. Elias placed his hand on the grip of his revolver and followed the tracks across the wooden floor. They led toward the back door of the saloon. Then he heard it, a soft laugh, not human. Elias turned quickly, pointing his revolver toward the staircase in the corner. For a moment, nothing moved. Then the wooden steps creaked slowly. Someone was walking down. A tall figure appeared in the darkness. The man wore a long black coat and an old sheriff's badge on his chest. His hat covered most of his face. "Sheriff Dalton?" Elias whispered. The figure lifted his head. His face was pale and cracked like dry earth. His neck was twisted at an unnatural angle. Dead, but still moving. "You shouldn't have come here." The ghost rasped. Elias fired. The gunshot echoed through the empty town, but the bullet passed straight through the sheriff's body. The ghost did not fall. Instead, the lanterns inside the saloon suddenly lit by themselves, casting long shadows on the walls. Outside, something began moving in the streets. Elias slowly walked to the window. His blood froze. Dozens of figures were standing outside. Men, women, children, all dressed in old frontier clothes, all staring at the saloon, none of them blinking. Their eyes were completely black. The ghost sheriff stepped closer to Elias, his voice now louder. We tried to leave, but the town doesn't let us. A loud rumble suddenly shook the ground. From the direction of the mine, a deep roar echoed through the valley. Not an animal, something much bigger. The dead people outside began walking toward the saloon. Slowly, silently, Elias loaded his revolver again, even though he knew bullets wouldn't stop them. The ghost sheriff looked toward the mine and whispered something that made Elias feel true fear for the first time. It's waking up. The ground trembled again, and far away in the darkness of the desert, two enormous glowing eyes opened beneath the earth. Black Hollow was never just a ghost town. It was a prison, and whatever was buried beneath it was about to be free.